isn't just hot, it's lethal. Every year, thousands of people collapse, faint, or even die due to extreme heat. And the worst part? Most of these deaths could have been prevented. In today's video, we're going to uncover the 7 most essential survival tips for scorching weather. If you're caught in a heat wave or just trying to make it through the summer without risking your health, this guide could literally save your life. Stay with us, because at the end of each tip, we'll give you a fast hook into the next one, so you always know what's coming and why you can't afford to miss it. But first, a story. In Arizona, a father and his 8-year-old son went for a hike in mid-July. It was supposed to be a quick adventure. 3 hours later, the father was unconscious and the boy barely made it out alive. The cause? Severe dehydration and heat stroke? They didn't take the heat seriously. Don't make the same mistake. Let's start with tip number 1, the one that could have saved that father's life. Tip number 1, hydrate like your life depends on it. Your body is over 60% water. When you sweat under the sun, that precious water evaporates. The problem? Most people don't realize they're dehydrated until it's too late. Symptoms like dizziness, confusion, and fatigue hit fast, and when they do, your survival instincts can be the first to shut down. That's why rule number 1 in extreme heat is simple: drink water before you're thirsty. Keep a water bottle with you at all times. Add a pinch of salt and a bit of sugar if possible. That's your DIY electrolyte mix. Sports drinks help too, but don't rely solely on them. Real story. In 2019, during a heat wave in France, emergency rooms saw a massive surge of patients with heat-related illnesses. Many of them thought they were just tired. Turns out they were dangerously dehydrated. Water isn't just for comfort in heat. It's fuel for your brain, your blood, and your survival. Coming up next, a survival tip so powerful it can reduce your body temperature by up to 5 degrees in under a minute. Tip number 2. Master the art of shade and shelter. When the heat is unbearable, shade isn't optional. It's life-saving. If you're out in nature, make creating or finding shelter your top priority. Use tarps, emergency blankets, or even your jacket to create a barrier between you and the sun. If you're in an urban environment, seek shaded alleys, underpasses, or buildings with AC. Story time. A group of campers in Nevada were caught in a sudden heat spike. They had no trees, no tents, nothing. The clever one among them used a reflective emergency blanket and 2 walking sticks to create a mini shelter. The temperature under that shade? 10 degrees cooler. He ended up protecting the entire group. Here's the hook. Even if you find shade, it won't be enough unless you combine it with the next tip, one that most people ignore until they're already in danger. Tip number 3. Dress for survival. Not fashion. What you wear in extreme heat can determine how your body copes with it. Light-colored, loose-fitting clothing reflects sunlight instead of absorbing it. Long sleeves might seem counterintuitive, but they actually protect you from sunburn and keep sweat from evaporating too fast, helping regulate your body temperature. Avoid dark fabrics, heavy materials, and tight clothing. True story. In 2021, a woman hiking in Southern California collapsed from heat exhaustion. She was wearing black leggings and a dark tank top. Rescue teams noted that her clothing acted like a heat trap. Her friend, wearing a loose white long-sleeve shirt and wide-brimmed hat, didn't even need medical attention. This next survival's tip is invisible but lethal, and it strikes hardest when you least expect it. Tip number 4. Understand the danger of heat. Index most. People look at the thermometer and think, it's only 95 off, I can handle that. But the heat index, a measure of how hot it actually feels due to humidity, can turn that 95 into 110 real quick. High humidity blocks sweat from evaporating, meaning your body can't cool down. This creates a hidden risk that tricks people into pushing beyond their limits. In 2020, A marathon runner collapsed mid-race despite being highly trained. Why? The temperature was 92 degrees, but the heat index was 106. The humidity made it impossible for her to regulate her core temperature. Next, want to know how your body gives early warning signs before heat stroke hits? This next tip teaches you exactly what to watch for. Tip number 5. Recognize the signs of heat illness. Early heat exhaustion and heat stroke are not the same, and mistaking one for the other can be deadly. Early signs include headaches, nausea, excessive sweating, muscle cramps, and rapid heartbeat. If you don't act, it escalates into confusion, dry skin, fainting, and potentially death. Knowing these signs gives you precious time to cool down or seek help. Let me tell you about Marcus, a construction worker in Houston. One afternoon he felt lightheaded, but ignored it. Within 30 minutes, he couldn't remember where he parked his truck. His foreman noticed his slurred speech and called emergency services. Marcus was suffering from heat stroke, but survived because someone knew what to look for. Still with us? Good, because next we're about to break one of the biggest myths about cooling down, and it could change how you survive the next heat wave. Tip number 6. Skip the ice water shock you're overheating. Your instinct is to chug ice water or jump into cold water. But shocking your body can cause blood vessel constriction, making it harder for your core to cool down. Instead, gradually reduce your temperature. Sip cool, not ice cold, water. Wet a cloth with cool water and place it on pulse points like your neck, armpits, and groin. If you have access to water, soak your feet. It helps drop your body temp safely. Story: during a heat wave in Spain, hospitals reported increased cases of fainting and cramping from people drinking ice water too quickly. One man suffered from stomach spasms so severe he passed out in public. Coming up next, the final tip might seem simple, but in real life, it's the one that decides who lives and who doesn't. Tip number 7. Know when to stop and seek help. Too many people try to tough it out. They keep walking, working, or exercising because they don't want to seem weak. But your body doesn't care about pride. When your heart rate stays high, your skin turns red and dry, and your vision blurs, you're in trouble. Stopping and seeking help isn't a defeat, it's a survival skill. Call emergency services, find a cooled space, get help immediately. One of the saddest cases was a 19-year-old delivery biker in Texas. He pushed through the heat to finish his shift. He never made it home. His autopsy revealed severe heat stroke, and the tragic part? His last texts said he felt weird, but thought it was just a little heat. Don't be a hero. Be smart. Now for the final hook, because survival doesn't stop at heat. What about cold, floods, blackouts? If you want to master everyday survival, you need to prepare for every threat. So, now you know the 7 survival tips that can keep you alive when the heat turns deadly. Which one surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. And if you want to prepare like a pro, check out the resources in the pinned comment, especially our free survival checklist that you can download and keep with you. Stay smart, stay hydrated, and remember, survival isn't luck, it's preparation. In July 2019, Alexander Lofgren, an Iraq War veteran and experienced outdoorsman, set off on what was supposed to be a peaceful desert trip with his partner, Emily Henkel. They drove a Subaru Outback into the heart of Death Valley National Park, chasing the silence, the beauty, and the freedom that only the desert can offer. But what started as a dream quickly turned into a survival nightmare. After a wrong turn onto an unmaintained dirt road, their vehicle got stuck in deep sand. No signal, no traffic, and the sun was climbing fast. By noon, the air shimmered with heat. The metal of the car doors became untouchable. Every breath felt like inhaling smoke. They had water, but not much. Food, but not the kind that keeps you cool. Alexander, trained to stay calm under pressure, began rationing. One sip every 2 hours. A towel dipped in what little water they had became their air conditioner, pressed to the back of their necks over and over again. Emily wrote "help" in the dirt using their last full bottle of water. Forming letters big enough to be spotted from the air, they slept in shifts, staying still during the brutal daytime hours and moving only at night. On the fourth day, with dehydration setting in and morale crashing, Alexander made a tough decision: leave the car, follow the canyon trail, and find help. He walked under the scorching sun with cracked lips and a burning throat, each step a war against his own body. That same day, a search and rescue helicopter spotted the message in the sand and found Emily, weak, disoriented, but alive. Tragically, Alexander was found nearby. He hadn't made it. The lesson? Even trained, strong, and experienced people can fall to heat, but it was their early preparation, rationing, creating shade, conserving movement, that gave Emily a fighting chance. Survival is never about toughness. It's about respect for the heat, for the body, and for the moment. You might think you'll never be caught in Death Valley, but extreme heat doesn't care where you are. And the next story? It hits even closer to home. The Texas blackout. Heat trap August 2023, Texas. The state was in the grip of a record-breaking heat wave, day after day of triple-digit temperatures that refused to let up. In the quiet town of Mission, 79-year-old Rosa Martinez sat in her small trailer home, a place she'd lived in for over 30 years. On that particular afternoon, the air felt heavy, like a thick wool blanket pressing against her chest. The window, AC unit buzzed, then stopped. Silence. A power failure had hit the entire block. Within minutes, the inside of Rosa's trailer became an oven. The walls radiated heat. The furniture felt like hot stones. She had no fan, no generator, just a jug of water, a damp towel, and memories of how her abuela used to beat the heat back in the old days in rural Mexico. Rosa didn't panic. She didn't move. She soaked the towel again and again, placing it on her neck, under her armpits, across her chest. She laid flat on the linoleum floor, the coolest spot in the trailer, breathing slow and steady, fighting off dizziness. Outside, the street was empty. People had fled to shelters or were stuck in their homes trying to survive like her. Rosa's hands trembled. Her heart felt strange, sluggish. But she stayed alert. Every 20 minutes, she'd sip just enough water to wet her throat. At sunset, when the lights flickered back on, emergency responders began checking homes. They found Rosa still on the floor, whispering prayers in Spanish, alive, but barely. Two of her neighbors, both younger than her, were taken to the ER in critical condition. The lesson. Rosa didn't survive because she was lucky. She survived because she had wisdom. She remembered the basics. She respected the heat. In moments like that, knowledge is power, and power keeps you alive. You might think your fan or AC will always save you. But what if the power goes out tomorrow? Let's break down the lies people believe and the truths that could save your life. Heat survival. Myths versus truth. Myth P1. If you're thirsty, drink a lot all at once. Truth. Chugging large amounts of water too fast during extreme heat can shock your system and even lead to a dangerous drop in sodium levels, known as hyponatremia. The right move? Sip consistently. Don't flood your body. Myth number 2. You can't get heat stroke if you're indoors. Truth. Indoor heat stroke is real, especially for elderly people in poorly ventilated or mobile homes. If the room is sealed tight and there's no airflow, it can heat up faster than the outside. Always check indoor temps during heat waves. Myth number 3. You sweat more, so you're safer. Truth. Sweating is your body's natural cooling process, but in high humidity or when you're already dehydrated, sweating slows or stops. That's a major red flag for heat exhaustion or stroke. If you're hot and dry, that's dangerous. Myth number 4. Cold showers cool you down faster. Truth, shockingly cold water can actually constrict your blood vessels and trap heat inside. Lukewarm or gently cool water is much more effective at helping your body gradually lower its core temperature. Myth number 5. Dark clothes protect you better. Truth, dark colors absorb heat, not reflect it. In extreme heat, always go for light-colored, loose-fitting, breathable clothing. It keeps you cooler and helps air circulate. Now that you know the real dangers and the real solutions, you have a choice. You can ignore the heat and roll the dice, or you can respect it, prepare for it, and survive it. This heat can kill you, but it doesn't have to.